Bluestar began to look troubled, narrowing her eyes so that only the faintest sliver of blue showed in the dim light of the den. She let out a long sigh. "Tiger Claw is a fine deputy," she murmured, "and these are serious charges." "I know," Fireheart agreed quietly, "but can't you see, Bluestar, how dangerous he is?" Bluestar sank her head into her chest. She was silent for so long that Fireheart wondered if he should leave, but she had not dismissed him. "There's something else," he ventured. "Something strange about two of the River Clan warriors." Bluestar looked up at that, her ears flicked forward. For a heartbeat, Fireheart hesitated to spread the rumors of a temperamental River Clan elder, but his need to know the truth gave him the courage to go on. "Ravenpaw told me that in the Sunning Rocks battle, Oakheart stopped Redtail from attacking a warrior named Stonefur. Oakheart said that no ThunderClan cat should ever harm Stonefur. I had the chance to speak to one of the River Clan elders. She told me that Oakheart brought Mistyfoot and Stonefur to her when they were tiny kits. It was Leafbear, and she said that the kits would have died with no one to take care of them. Graypool, the elder, suckled them, but she said that they had the scent of ThunderClan kits. Could that be true? Were kits ever stolen from our camp?" For a few heartbeats, he thought Bluestar had not heard him, she was so still. Then she rose to her paws and padded forward a couple of paces until she stood almost nose to nose with him. "And you listen to this nonsense?" she hissed. Hi, my name is Spencer Grant, and you're listening to Fourtrees, a Warrior Cats retrospective podcast. First and foremost, of course, I would like to address the allegations brought forth by the hashtag Spencer Grant is over party. There's a lot for me to say here, but probably the most important thing that I can say is that the allegations are true. I did, in fact, in a private DM on Discord, say that I believe that aromantic people could speak French if they were so inclined. And I would like to take this opportunity to take that back. I've done the research, my friends have sent me literature on the subject, and I have found that, in fact, aromantic people cannot speak French, and it was ignorant of me to assume so in the first place. So I would like to extend my heartfelt apologies to any people in the aromantic community who may have been offended by my statements and my actions. I promise that I will do my best to do better in the future and make sure that this never happens again. Hi, this is Spencer from the future reporting in to confirm that I screwed up and it did happen again. So the main account behind the hashtag Spencer Grant is over party is an account called @SpencerGrantSucks. It's started by my friend Clayton, who was in one of these private aforementioned Discord parties. And last night I mentioned that I thought that TERFs should be gunned down in the streets. And I don't know if Clayton has already taken action about this and posted it currently, but he did say that he was going to post something along the lines of Spencer thinks that violence should be brought against women. So I just want to make that clear that, first of all, not all TERFs are women. And second of all, I believe that no TERFs can be considered either male or female because they are by nature subhuman. But yeah, just want to get out in front of that one in case it does happen again. I don't want to be canceled twice in one day. It would be really bad for my burgeoning Saturday Night Live career, which, as we all know, is a huge priority in my life and not at all the reason that I made this podcast. It's not like, I want to get kicked off of SNL or something like that. That would be terrible. Whatever could happen to me, I would be, so many horrible things. I'd be free to explore projects on my own. I would finally, be able to get away from Lorne Michaels and his awful production company. I just can't think of how many terrible things would happen if I were to be kicked off of SNL. So, please, whoever's listening to this podcast, I implore you not to write to Saturday Night Live and tell them to remove me from my post for the transgressions that I have made on my twitter.com page. Thank you. Of resets. And so that's how my mom managed to escape from prison. But yeah, so Warrior Cats Book 3, all right? I can't believe it. We're finally here. It feels wonderful and beautiful a little bit. Forest of Secrets, and holy heck, you guys, does this forest have a lot of secrets. It's like kind of wild how many secrets this forest has. Obviously, you know, there's the thing with Bluestar, there's the thing with Tiger Claw, and you know, his Rogues Gallery. Can I call them Rogues Gallery? If like I guess, yeah, Rogues Gallery would probably be a good way to put it. Hey, welcome to Fourtrees, a Warrior Cat semantics podcast. That's right, we're all about linguistics now. So today I'm going to talk about diphthongs. Like it is there's a lot of secrets in this forest, is what I mean to say, and it's the point that gets belabored throughout this book. You basically get hit on the head over and over again by the things that Fireheart doesn't know, and that's like fine because, you know, he's a protagonist and he's not supposed to know things. But, you know, it would be nice for at least once if he wasn't, you know, just a little bit stupid in the head. You get me? You know, like, I'm not saying that Fireheart is a... Oh, God. Beans. Did I just say a swear word on my Warrior Cats podcast? Oh, no. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut that one out real quick. Sorry, I'll be with you in a second. Hi, this is Spencer. I just bleeped the swear word. This is the kind of exciting action you get on the Fourtrees Warrior Cats podcast. I'm gonna get into the episode now because I've been faffing around for way too long, and if I talk anymore, I'm probably gonna say more stupid swear words. So let's begin. After starting to wonder more about Tiger Claw during the events of a gathering, Fireheart and Graystripe decide to visit Ravenclaw, and ask him, hey, isn't it weird that, like, he's still an apprentice? Whatever. I mean, you would think that, like, he'd change his name to just be, like, Raven, and then we could talk about how he's so Raven. But no, he's still Ravenclaw. Good for him, I guess, you know, if he likes that. Anyway, Fireheart and Graystripe decide to visit Ravenclaw and ask him more about Redtail's death. Upon doing so, they learn that Redtail never actually killed Oakheart. Oakheart was killed in a rockfall after saying something cryptic to Redtail about the River Clan warrior Stonefur. They resolve to bring this back to Bluestar and use it as evidence of Tiger Claw's betrayal after Graystripe asks Silverstream to corroborate insofar as Oakheart's death is concerned. When they get back to ThunderClan, though, Tiger Claw is like, hey, why were you absent? And threatens to punish them further once he becomes leader. Fireheart and Graystripe are unable to neglect their duty to ThunderClan to find the truth, so they push forward further, and they talk to RiverClan about the situation. Silverstream's friend Mistyfoot confirms that Oakheart was in fact crushed between rocks, and Greypool, Mistyfoot's mother, confides to Fireheart that Mistyfoot and Stonefur were both actually born into ThunderClan. However, when Fireheart reports this all to Bluestar, she drives into a deep fury that scares Fireheart off. Fireheart, feeling bad about his transgressions, goes to help Cinderpaw gather herbs. However, he runs into Cloudkit, who is mercilessly taunting and harassing Brokentail, the former Shadow Clan leader. Fireheart scolds Cloudkit and reveals that Cloudkit was born a kitty pet just like Fireheart was, and that means that he has to work twice as hard to prove to the warriors that he is a valuable asset to ThunderClan. Cloudkit goes and causes some more trouble as they take him out with Cinderpaw. He nearly eats some death berries, and later on he gets attacked by a badger. After a few more heart-to-hearts, Fireheart finally sets Cloudkit back on the right track and goes on investigating Tiger Claw, who has possibly been meeting with rogues nearby the Two-Leg Place. Increasingly worried by the nightmares running through his dreams, Fireheart agonizes over his role in the clan and the identity of Stonefur and Mistyfoot's mother. One day, whilst patrolling the River Clan border, he finds out that one of his nightmares has come true. The river has flooded. They return to the camp and report the news, and Bluestar, who is oddly sympathetic to the plight of River Clan, instructs ThunderClan to take some caution. Fireheart and Graystripe go out to check on Silverstream, and they find a pair of kits stranded atop Sunning Rocks. The two rescue them narrowly and return them to an ungrateful River Clan who suspect the two of foul play. Fireheart and Graystripe swear by their truth and promise to help feed RiverClan until their camp is safe from the flooding. However, one morning, after hunting for RiverClan, they're found out by Tigerclaw, who takes them to Bluestar to answer for their violation of the warrior code. Bluestar punishes them, forcing them to take in apprentice duties for a little while, although she does seem grateful that the two were helping out RiverClan. Fireheart tries to take the opportunity to crack down on Cloudkit's bad behavior, and notices that Tigerclaw seems to be getting on pretty well with Longtail. Weird. Once their punishments are over, Fireheart is sent with Tigerclaw to Fourtrees to see if they can make it there without running into flood-related issues. The answer, no. Fireheart is barely saved by Dustpelt, and they head back to ThunderClan to report to Bluestar that they may be unable to make it to Fourtrees for the gathering. Fireheart is suspicious that Tigerclaw might have tried to have him killed a little bit, so he goes to Yellowfang's den to make sure he didn't catch a chill after falling in the river, where Yellowfang proposes that Cinderpaw join Yellowfang as the new Medicine Cat apprentice. This puts Fireheart at ease because he was worried about Cinderpaw and all that Cinderpaw felt, and he finds himself wishing that all of his personal problems could be solved by Yellowfang making him her apprentice. Next comes the gathering, where ShadowClan reveals that they somehow know of ThunderClan sheltering Broken-Tail. This pisses WindClan off, and at the end of the gathering, both WindClan and ShadowClan are furious with ThunderClan for aiding and abetting with this tyrant. However, RiverClan is sympathetic for them, thankful for the actions of Fireheart and Graystripe. The next day, the ThunderClan camp is attacked by a joint contingency of ShadowClan and WindClan warriors, bound by a hatred of Broken-Tail. ThunderClan successfully manages to fight them off and protect the clan, no thanks to Graystripe, who arrives a moment too late, because he was off seeing, what's her name? His mate. Oh god, I just remembered it. Oh man. Silverstream, that was it. Because Silverstream, by the way, is having kittens soon. Graystripe's gonna be a daddy. But anyway, Tigerclaw is furious and he's suspicious, and so he expresses his distrust of Fireheart and Graystripe out loud. Fireheart isn't really paying attention though, because he is too busy figuring out that Mistyfoot and Stonefur look too much like Bluestar for that to just be a coincidence. Graystripe does his best to play by the rules for a few days afterwards, but one day he disappears. Fireheart goes to find him and discovers that Silverstream is having Graystripe's kits prematurely at Sunning Rocks. He goes to get Cinderpaw to come help, and Tigerclaw blunders in and makes a whole sordid affair an even more sordid affair. Silverstream dies of blood loss in the process, but she gives birth to 2 kittens, Graystripe's kittens. Fireheart and Graystripe are obviously beside themselves, and Tigerclaw is obviously apoplectic, and the kittens are brought back to ThunderClan, but not without some scandal. The situation settles down a little bit, and Bluestar confesses to Fireheart and that Stonefur and Mistyfur were in fact her kits, and she knew about Graystripe and Silverstream all along. It was pretty obvious, right? She's not stupid. Fireheart listens to her tale of woe and then brings Graystripe back to ThunderClan. There he is shunned, but his kits are alive. A few days later, Cloudkit is made into Fireheart's apprentice. ThunderClan receives a delegation of RiverClan warriors to ask for Silverstream's kits. Bluestar promises to think it over and give an answer at the next gathering. However, shortly afterwards, Tigerclaw leads an attack on the ThunderClan camp and makes an attempt on Bluestar's life. Fireheart, having finally caught him in the act, rescues Bluestar, and they reveal Tigerclaw's crimes. Tigerclaw, betrayed, runs away from the camp, swearing revenge. Yellowfang euthanizes Broken-Tail with deathberries, Fireheart is made deputy, and after a tearful farewell, Graystripe leaves ThunderClan to be with his kits in RiverClan. And that's the book, guys. It's been tragic. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is something that you're going to encounter a lot as you go through the Warrior Cats books, if you're going through them with me. And that is that these books love reminding you of things. Like, I don't know if this is just like a thing to fill a page count, but they will renege basically every single point in like the first few chapters. And it makes me think that you could basically, if you wanted to, you could probably speed run the Warriors books, like reading comprehension wise, if you just read like the first 3 chapters of every book, and then the last one. So yeah, that was where I was at. Like the first thing I noticed when I was opening this book was like, obviously, oh, okay, so this is the story about Blue Fur's kits. That's cool. And then also like, wow, they really like reminding me about things that already have happened. And sometimes it was stuff that happened like 3 pages ago, and I was like, really? But you get used to it, I would say. Like it wasn't that annoying later on. It was just like things that I remembered early on in the book. Was that also what did get annoying was that they kept describing Blue Kit using Cloud Kit using his eyes. Like his eyes were the only part of his body that ever emoted, and they would talk about like how his blue eyes looked scared and his blue eyes were hot with anger, and his, yes, we know what color his eyes are. Thank you, Aaron Hunter, for reminding us every other page. You realize he's an entire cat, right? You can like talk about how his fur is all bushed up or spiked at the, I don't know. That's a pet peeve when I'm talking about pets. So another thing is that I really like the other clan cats a lot, except for when they're being stupid. But like Wind Clan, they seem like chill dudes. Mistyfoot, I liked when they brought Fireheart to River Clan for the first time. Mistyfoot was like, look, if you want to start dating the whole of Thunder Clan, then I am not gonna keep your secret. I thought that was too good. I also like how she tells Fireheart to roll in fox crap if she wants to be undetected from ThunderClan. I like Graypool a lot as a character. I think she just says what she wants. She's a queen. And I think the River Clan cats are pretty nice once they warm up to the ThunderClan book. It really makes you think about how quickly things turn around, because like in the last book, River Clan sucked. Like, I was worried that Leopard Fur was going to be an antagonist. And no, she's like totally chill in this book. She's like a little bit harsh at first, but like once it gets later on, she's like totally cool. And it's like, whatever. And speaking of other clan cats being cool, I think this Graystripe guy is a really cool character. I'd love to see more of him. Nah. It makes me sad that Graystripe is in River Clan now. There are a lot of implications to think about there. Like, obviously, Fireheart's loyalties are going to be somewhat divided if he ever meets Graystripe on the battlefield. That's going to be a really hard thing for just about everybody. And just because every other cat in ThunderClan is apparently, like, you can turn their loyalties on and on with the flick of a switch, it's an interesting thing to think about. There is like a lot of I'm still very like unsure of how to parse the kitty pet racism in this book. I talked about this a lot last time, and in particular I talked about how unqualified I was as a cishet white guy to talk about the racism in general. But like, it's obviously really messed up what the other cats are saying about Cloud Kit and how he's such a troublemaker because he's a kitty pet and so on. Like, he was basically raised in ThunderClan. He knows just about as much as every other kitten. Fireheart, similarly, was essentially raised in ThunderClan. He just happened to be around 6 months older than CloudKit was when he joined. And it's like, I don't know, it's such a weird thing to think about, like these cats being just racist. I don't understand it. Like Fireheart mentions earlier on when he's like, I wouldn't want to tell Mistyfoot and Stonefur to know the pain of living with a paw in each world. I feel that all the time whenever I'm confronting my identity of being born kitty pet. And it's like, I don't know. I guess like obviously, it's a children's book. There's a lot that children think about that adults don't necessarily think about. And probably if you were a real cat living in this society, that would be something to think about. But like also, man, these cats are stupid. Like Fireheart has known basically nothing but ThunderClan, and he clearly loves it. When will his loyalty stop being called into question? That's so ridiculous. The way that River Clan is so suspicious of Fireheart and Graystripe for rescuing their kits, even though it's literally part of the warrior code that they can't ignore kits in danger regardless of the clan. And like the way that they trash talk the other clans, it's like, look, if you're a cat in a warrior's clan, these clans are tiny, and like unless it's like they're tiny on purpose as like a representation of, oh, these are the only cats that these cats would associate with. Obviously, there are other cats that exist outside of the scope of these books, but they're just not mentioned so that we can, I don't know, like in Civilization, like how a few warriors represent an army of warriors. Maybe it's something like that. But like, at least if these books and their numbers are accurate, like, if you're a warrior cat, you're either inbred or you have grandparents from outside of the clan at this point. Like, the clans are so small and insular, there isn't like a healthy breeding community within ThunderClan. I'm sorry, that's just like the way it is. You don't have a population that can sustain that healthily without taking cats from outside. And I feel like the racism that's displayed in this book, I don't know, at least as an American, it's not analogous to the kind of racism that exists in America. It could, like, the authors of these books are European for sure, and there are definitely assets of racism that are universal everywhere. And obviously, you know, I'm not qualified to talk about this, but like, at least like European racism, from what I experience of it and what I see of it, is very different from American racism. And it could be that, like, this is just the author is writing about what they know insofar as, you know, the racist attitudes of Europe, and me not understanding it quite as well because I grew up with the racist attitudes of America. But I don't know, this a lot of the racism feels very disingenuous to me. It feels kind of like it's a forced issue. There was a tweet I saw earlier on that was like, a lot of kids' book will display racism as, you know, these purple people and these green people hate each other for no reason. Isn't that silly? And it doesn't get into the issue that, like, actually the green people enslaved the purple people for hundreds of years, and now there's systemic oppression against, you know, or so on like that. And that's kind of how I feel about this when I look at it. I think that tweet did a really good job of bringing that issue to the forefront. Speaking of CloudKit, by the way, I kind of love how the elders all love him because he actually likes their stories and thinks they aren't lame. Like, that's a really fun thing to do. I think it's like a nice little detail that, you know, like, of course there has to be some kids that are finding solace in the elders. The elders aren't just like only the repositories of wisdom. They're also like, you know, fun old people telling stories and stuff. I kind of imagine CloudKit growing up and becoming like a Rudy Ray Moore, but for warrior cats, which is a really silly concept. Like, hold on, I'm gonna step away from the microphone because I'm probably gonna. Let's see, what's a Rudy Ray Moore bit? Way on down in the jungle deep, the Lion Clan warriors stepped on the signified mouse's feet. The mouse said, "Thistles and thorns, can't you see? Why you standing on my Star Clan forsaken feet?" The lion said, "I ain't heard a word you said. Said, if you say 3 more, I'll be stepping on your fluff-brained head." And then, like, the laugh track goes off. I don't know. That's my best impression of a Rudy Ray Moore bit. Man, this is whatever. You know what? That reminds me. I love the way that, like, they say swear words in these books, because, like, obviously they don't say real human swears because the cats partially don't have any concept of them, and partially, you know, like, it's a kid's book. But, like, you know, every once in a while you'll read, like, something that a cat says to deride another cat, and it's just, like, the funniest thing ever. It's like, you crow food ridden, you mange ridden, you know, no good for nothing, mouse brains. I don't know, fox dung. Like, I love that. I love fantasy insults. Like, they're always going to be either creative or just, like, really silly. And probably silly to us because they're derived from the things that real insults are, which are, like, universally funny. Like, I'm sorry. Obviously, I'm not going around making, you know, ribaldry quite as much as I did when I was a kid. But there's a reason why kids find that funny. And also, you know, whenever Fireheart says thistles and thorns, you know, it just sounds a lot like I don't know, a G.I. Joe PSA character trying to express discontent but unable to get past the censors in some way. Anyways, let's talk about the Mystery of Bluestar's kits, because I think that is decently well done. I really wish that they hadn't mentioned earlier on that Bluestar lost her kits one winter basically immediately after the prologue tells us about one winter in which River Clan adopts Thunder Clan kits. Like, I feel like that kind of goofed it. Yes, I know it's a book for children. I also like Fireheart and Graystripe being the private eyes in this book. It's like a fun dynamic to imagine, especially after their little tiff in the last book, Fire and Ice. The incognito sneaking into RiverClan was fun, and I like them being able to talk with cats from outside of the clan, because we hear about ThunderClan too much. I'm sorry, they're not the most interesting clan in the forest. You're telling me there are cats who have learned to swim and fish, and we're paying attention to cats hunting in the forest? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Whatever. I like the juxtaposition of Bluestar and Yellowfang insofar as how their kids go. I think that's an interesting choice. Both had to give up their children and repress any loyalty they might have once felt to their children, but also, like, Broken Tail is a war criminal, and Bluestar just broke the warrior code a little. I was kind of happy when Yellowfang was like, yeah, eat these berries, they won't kill you, and Broken Tail was like, yeah, whatever, I'm Broken Tail. I'm like fluffing out my shirt right now as like a, I don't know, like a status symbol, but you can't see it because this is a podcast. I'm Broken Tail. Hey. I also think the juxtaposition of Bluestar and Graystripe is interesting. We're like kind of seeing this multi-generational thing going on. I was wondering to myself as I read the book, like, how is Bluestar going to react when the secret comes to light? Will she understand his decisions that he makes? And, you know, I think she does. She seems pretty cool about it. I also there's a scene like when they're coming back from the gathering and Fireheart is checking out both Mistyfoot and Bluestar, and he's describing how similar they look. And it gives most of the mystery away, but also it seems like Fireheart has a bit of an Oedipus complex, because, I don't know, Bluestar feels like a mother figure to Fireheart. And I think that's kind of interesting for sure. And also, you know, at that same point, they're talking about how Mistyfoot just gave birth to kits, and Fireheart's just checking him out. And he's like, yeah, check out those muscles. Check out that smooth, compact build. And it's like, all right, buddy, settle down. You know, we haven't gotten to the romance arc yet. You're still hung up over Spottedleaf. But I think the situation where Bluestar confesses her whole deal is sufficiently tragic. She always felt like a very well fleshed out character, and at least in memory, and I think her development from this book is what does it. Like, this is a very good book for Bluestar. I'm really interested also in how Graystripe being in another clan plays out in the future. Like, it was hinted for a little while, but it's nice that it's out in the open, and it's a really interesting wrinkle in the story that I forgot about and I wasn't really expecting. Like, the drama, you know? Will he be... it doesn't seem likely to me that he'll stay in RiverClan, so I kind of wonder what kind of providence will pull him out in a way. Like, is he going to be separated from his kits? Will ThunderClan accept him back? You know, it's fun to think about. I freaking love Graystripe, man. What a guy. Okay, this is my volume, and so on. Alright, so this book means a lot for the series, obviously. There's a lot we can talk about. For starters, Graystripe is a daddy! Ah! I'm sorry, I really love that guy. Also, just because Tiger Claw has been exiled doesn't mean he's not dangerous. It is great that he's, like, out of the way, but, like, he's not out of the way. He just doesn't have any clout with the clans anymore. Or so we think, anyways. He thinks he wants to be leader, so, like, I don't know, that might happen. There was a quote that got me stuck out. I know, I'm gonna be a stickler for this, like, one clan thing, but, if clans from different clans could look so alike, Fireheart wondered, why couldn't they think alike too? Why did there have to be so much quarreling between them? Like, come on, guys, they've got to unite. It makes sense. Obviously, like, they talk about how the two legs are a threat in this book. I don't know. Maybe the Warrior Cat's, like, endgame is going to be a united assault against the people of Britain. I don't know. I love that idea, though. Anyway, Silverstream is dead. Graystripe is now in RiverClan. Drama. Fireheart is the deputy, and both Fireheart and Bluestar have their loyalties compromised in RiverClan's favors, which might be an interesting wrinkle for the future books. We'll see. There were a lot of Warrior Code violations in this one. For starters, Oakheart passes through ThunderClan territory to appropriate a kit. I know I said I wasn't gonna talk about other clan stuff, but Oakheart was the protagonist for this chapter, so give it a break. Graystripe and Fireheart pass through Wind Clan territory to visit Ravenpaw. Graystripe and Fireheart pass through River Clan territory to visit Silverstream and Mistyfoot. Graystripe and Fireheart pass through River Clan territory to visit Graypool. Graystripe and Fireheart consistently pass through River Clan territory to bring them food and to make out with Silverstream. I don't know if having kits is, like, against the Warrior Code. It certainly implies that you've done goofed a whole lot, so, like, I'm gonna throw that in there. And also, last last week I said that eating while out on border patrol was against the warrior code. Turns out that's a mistake, so I'm going to remove that from the tally as well. Anyways, Graystripe and Fireheart put RiverClan above ThunderClan several times when they're feeding them. Bluestar and Co. pass through ShadowClan territory and then RiverClan territory to go to and fro the Gathering, which is like not okay. Fireheart fails to attack Morning Flower in the battle in the ThunderClan camp. Bluestar fails to name a new deputy by Moonhigh after Tiger Claw's exile. And of course, Graystripe leaves ThunderClan to be with his kids. Like, come on, guys. At the end of the day, this is probably the most dramatic of all of the Warriors books that I remember that I've gone through so far. And I know that's not saying a lot because this is like the third one, but like, wow, this book had a lot. I'm super glad I read it, and I'm glad that you guys could be with me as I read it. So yeah, thank you. Just a quick announcement for the future of this podcast. I've given it some more thought, and I think that I want to stick to 30-minute long episodes, but once I start season 2, which will be the next arc, and some super editions, I'm probably going to be splitting it into 2 episodes. So like it'll be 1 hour long, but like I'll release them on like Monday and Thursday or Monday and Friday or something like that, just to make sure that I like having more content throughout the week, and I don't want to like cut out the conversations because I feel like a lot of what we're going to say is either going to be funny or relevant to Warriors or both, and I don't want to miss that. Like, I think that would be fun. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Thank you so much for listening to Fourtrees. I've been Spencer, and you've been beautiful. So take care of yourselves, and I'll play myself out now. Oh god, how do I stop the podcast? I do this every time.